My name is Watch Fan Henry, and in this video I'm going to be saying goodbye to my grandfather's 1948 Rolex Bubbleback watch. And I'll give you a bit of a backstory on this very precious family watch. My late grandfather, which was my father's father, purchased this treasured watch brand new in Geneva. We believe in 1948. The whole story on my grandfather as to his background is fascinating, and I'm actually going to make a YouTube video explaining his background because I find it interesting to basically share what his life was and what the typical Rolex buyer of a watch like this looked like in the 1940s. And I think you might all find his background interesting as well. So here we are, 75 odd years later, and the watch is now with me. My dear father is no longer with us, but when my grandfather passed in late 50s, I believe it was early 57, my father took over this watch, and he wore it as his backup watch since 1972, because my father got a president in 72, and this then became his backup. So this watch has been in the family since 48, but it's now time for me to say goodbye to the watch. So long, but not forever. The story on this watch is it stopped working. I think a lot of you probably will have similar stories with your vintage 1940s era Bubblebacks. But it stopped working, and my father had his jeweler, his Rolex expert here in town, look at the watch, and other experts looked at the watch, and they determined that it was beyond economic repair, BER. And he said, well, I can put in a Timex movement. And of course, my dad said, no, we won't do that. And my dad gave me the watch so it would be in my safe hands. And my dad made me promise that I would get this watch working one day, and that I will certainly do. And so I was at a loss on what to do. Rolex don't have parts for this watch, so you can't exactly send it to Rolex and ask them to fix it. So I did a lot of checking, a lot of online checking, and I have found a Rolex Bubbleback expert in the States, and I'm going to be sending it to him, and he's going to do the best he can with the watch. So I'm going to keep you guys all updated on this project, because as I say, I just dearly want to get this watch back into reliable running condition, of course keeping the originality of the innards as well. And I don't want a non-Rolex movement. I want this movement to be as original as it possibly can, as to when my grandfather bought it brand new in Geneva in the summer of 1948. So it's going to be interesting to see if this expert is able to restore life into this watch. I'm going to send it to him. I'm in absolutely no rush, no panic whatsoever on this. I just want it to be in safe hands and hopefully one day running again. What was pointed out to me is that the dial, or the crown, I should say, is too big. And I guess at some point my dad had the watch repaired locally, and they put this oversized crown on winding crown on the watch. So hopefully maybe we'll be able to get a more authentic crown original to the watch installed. So we'll see. I guess it could take some months for these watch repairs to be effected, but in the meantime, as I say, I'll start researching the video that I'm going to make about the history of my grandfather, his life history, because I just find it fascinating as to who was the typical buyer of one of these watches in 48. Rolex in 1948 made a good watch, but they didn't have the world reputation that they have in the year 2024. It was largely a tool watch. And my grandfather was a medical doctor, and he was in London during the Blitz. The family were moved out to Blackpool, but that was my father, my late father, and my uncle and my late grandmother. They were evacuated to Blackpool during the war. As I say, he stayed in London through the entire war, looking after people that were injured at his and caring to his patients that stayed in London during that period. So there's a lot of global or English history attached to this watch, and a lot of personal history as well. So as I say, it was on my grandfather's wrist from the time he bought it in 48 until his passing in early 57, and then belonged to my father from 57 up until 22. So my hope and prayers are that this watch can be brought back to life, and I'll look forward to wearing it for many more decades, God willing. And I'll keep you all very much updated on the watch, and we'll see what happens. I look forward to your comments. Perhaps if any of you have owned these watches, either since new through your family, or you've bought them and you've brought them back to life, I'd certainly love to hear your stories. Perhaps leave some comments, and it's going to be exciting to hear all about this, that's for sure. So thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, definitely do leave a comment. I love reading all your comments. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my Watch Fan Henry channel, please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my next video, and I'll keep you updated on the progress of this beautiful Bubbleback watch in due course. Thanks again, everybody. Bye for now. I just want to show everybody a bit of a close-up of this watch, except for as I say, the crown was replaced at some point when my father had it repaired locally, and they put this oversized crown. But certainly all of the patina, the face, dial, etc., the hands, they are all original. You can see there's gold, a bit of gold outlining there on the watch. But as I say, my grandfather, we believe he purchased it in Geneva, summer of 48. And it's in pretty decent condition. But it is a family heirloom. It's been in my family for all those years. And this is the watch that started it all for, well, my grandfather and my late father, and now me. So the Rolex obsession in our family is all centered on this one watch. So for me, this watch is priceless. It's a watch I will never sell. It will stay with me as long as I live. And if we can get it working, then I may use it as a traveling watch as well. As I say, my father owned a President, which he bought for his 40th birthday in 1972. He was born in 32. So when he got his President, this watch was put on the shelf and became his backup. And I'll be very, very happy to have this as my backup traveling watch as well. What an honor it will be to wear this watch. And as I say, if any of you that are watching this video have similar watches to this, and they stopped working, and perhaps you were told that it couldn't be repaired, I'd love to hear what your experience was in bringing it back to life, because there are watch experts that have said there's no such thing as a watch that can't be brought back to life, certainly a Rolex. So this notion of putting a Timex movement into this, I consider as blasphemous. And we'll see. We shall see. There's the oversized crown. And we'll see what it looks like in due course when we get this back from the repair house.